What? Are you serious? That's the night that the lights went out in San Francisco Bay. Every light, every train, every cab was done. Seriously, folks, what was going on in San Francisco? Folks, let me just say this, get it off, just get it out of the way. This was not, I repeat, this was not a San Francisco treat. No, it wasn't. People were stuck in elevators. People were in operating rooms, nursing home, air conditioning and went down. People on ventilators. You had situations. 911 went down. The train systems, the BART system. I mean, are you serious? And I said the BART, not my son Bart Begley, but the BART train system went down. Everything fell apart for over 7 hours in San Francisco, California, due to a breaker, a burning breaker. Guys, I don't know. I'm sitting there scratching my head saying, how in this world can one breaker cause an entire city to go dark? What if it had been during a rush hour or what if it had been like prime time, like 9 p.m. when it was dark and the red lights quit working? This was chaos. And also we had the same thing. We had an outage over in New York City. And there was a couple other smaller cities that had it. Was this a test? I'm not saying Jade Helm now. I'm not saying I don't need the NSA to come visit me again. But was this part of the Gotham Shield? Is this the same episode? Just different city? Was it the Joker? Or is this a joke on the American public? Is John Q. Public really going to understand what is going on here? And some people say, well, could it have been an EMP from the North Koreans? Well, let me just read. Matter of fact, speaking of my son Bart Begley, the Crusader Journal, he has an article on this very subject. He writes, a massive power outage threw San Francisco into chaos for most of the workday yesterday, knocking out traffic signals, paralyzing businesses, halting the city's famed cable cars. And the power outage, which was triggered by a fire at PG&E Corporation utility substation from a disrupted San Francisco, normally bustling financial district, home to banks and technology companies. Very interesting. Now, the blackout started around 9 a.m. and at one point affected nearly 90,000 customers, but we're talking the infrastructure of the city. And if you've ever been to San Francisco, and I've been there 2 or 3 times, it's been a long time though since I've been there. Whenever you're in that city, it's a phenomenal city, really. Especially if you go down near the pier and you can see Alcatraz there, and then there's all kinds of shops and stuff. Could you imagine everything going down like that? Office workers unable to access elevators had to use their key cards, spill out into the sidewalks. Some wondering if the streets in search of an open cafe or sunny spot to enjoy a rare, warm San Francisco day. That means the air conditioning units weren't working. And then others simply just went home with a long line forming for ferries. For many, there was little to do but wait. And when I got out, we had to shut down all the servers, all the workstations went offline. According to information technology workers in the financial district, I'm sure we've lost millions of dollars already. There's no business down here right now. Some cable car operators just snoozed after their cars stalled on the street rails. People were stuck in elevators. Traffic lights weren't working, creating emergency workers, hampered police and EMT's ability to move around in the city. Everything, banks didn't work. ATM machines wouldn't. Think of this over. So what would an EMP really do? Now, was this caused by some type of sabotage to one breaker where the fire broke out? Was the solar flares, that solar flare eruption on the sun 2 days ago, that was due to hit yesterday, could it have caused this? because we also had blackouts in New York and in Atlanta and in one other city. I can't remember where that one was at. They weren't at the same times, but these CMEs, when that pressure comes, we know some shortwave radios were also knocked out. And we're going to feel more from this because the solar flares, right now, let me just check it, but I believe the solar winds is pushing close to 700 kilometers per hour, okay? At least 600. Let's just check it right now. It's up to the minute. 724 kilometers per second. That is 2.5 times normal. And that there's a gaping hole on the sun, Earth facing, allowing these solar winds and gases to be released. And that huge explosion of a solar flare a couple days ago, that it's something, or was this part of Operation Gotham Shield? Well, you know what? Tomorrow night, I'm going to have BP Earthwatch as my guest. We were supposed to have BP Earthwatch and L.A. Marzulli. We were going to have a double guest program like we did a couple nights ago. We were going to have L.A. Marzulli and BP Earthwatch. And the two of them were going to discuss different things. But L.A. Marzulli had to postpone. We're going to reschedule because he forgot he's going to Peru to go check on some skulls down there of the Nephilim giants. So we'll wait till L.A. gets back. But we will go ahead and have BP, since he was scheduled with LA. We'll have BP come on, and we're going to talk about the solar flares, the CMEs, the explosions on the sun. We're going to also talk about could the giant solar explosion, there was a double 6.0 earthquake that hit. There was these power outages in different parts of the city. The magnetopause is down. And there's a whole lot more. And has this got anything to do as well with the 5 waves of energy? 5 waves of energy. And if we can get Mike from the World available Sunday night, we'd bring him in too to kind of replace, fill in for L.A. Marzulli and get because we need an update on the 5 waves of energy. So I don't know if we'll find him or not. I don't know if we can get him available. He's been extremely busy with all of the chaos going on in the Pacific. But don't miss Sunday Night Live. Sunday Night Live. It will be powerful because you've got Gotham Shield. You have potentially EMP strikes. We have solar flares. But really I want to focus more on the sun and the solar flares and the CMEs and the solar explosion, the giant solar explosion, the magnetopause. I just want to kind of get some information, the pressure, the earthquakes, because I think I want to go in that direction and not really talk as much about Gotham Shield. That's another program. But I want to focus on the sun, focus on the CMEs, focus on the 5 waves of energy, the magnetopause, the radiation that's coming from the sun, the huge coronal hole that's in the sun, the solar winds over 700 miles an hour. So don't miss Sunday Night Live. We will discuss it. It is seriously an issue. Something may have caused these blackouts, and I have a stronger feeling it was the waves of energy or the CMEs coming off the sun that probably played a major role in what just happened, okay? A major role in what just happened. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Now, here's what the Bible says. There shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity. The sea, the waves roaring. Men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things coming upon the earth. For the power of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to come to pass, he said, look up, lift up your head, for your redemption draweth nigh. And you know what? It just came to me. Don't forget Joel 2. Don't forget Joel 2. Because here's what it says that happened in the last days in Joel 2. He says these words. Joel 2:28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out on my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants, upon the handmaids, In those days will I pour out my Spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth. Blood and fire. We got wildfires out of control in Florida right now. And pillars of smoke. And the sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. We're living in the last days and the apocalyptic signs. We're on the edge of eternity. We're on the brink of the beast. We're at the apocalyptic hour. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Are you saved? Are you saved? Call on Jesus.